Yo guys, welcome to Fortnite emotes that are starting to get rare. Basically, what getting rare means is that they didn't come to the item shop many times and maybe wasn't seen like over 100 or so days ago. I wouldn't say these emotes are very rare, but they're definitely getting there and I don't see them too often. So if you have any of these emotes, let us know in the comments, or which ones would you want to get? Tell me that as well. But let's get straight into it. The first emote we have is Bobbin. This only came to the shop 6 times and was last seen over 130 days ago. If you guys don't already know, this emote used to be very rare because it wasn't out in like 500 days, and perhaps it's going to get rare again if they don't bring it back. Surprisingly though, I don't see this emote too often and I actually like it. I think it's pretty decent. I do actually have this one as well. So yeah, a solid emote. Moving on to the next emote, we have Slick. This came to the shop 13 times, but it was last seen over 170 days ago now. I don't know if you guys remember, but this was last released in a content creator's locker bundle. So it stayed in the shop a few times, but since then it hasn't returned. I mean, 170 days is half a year, so that's quite a long time for an emote not to return. However, if it goes to like a year or so, then yeah, this will be classed as a rare emote. And I must admit, I do actually like this emote a lot. It's definitely good vibes. I'd give it like an 8.5 out of 10 for sure. On to the next emote, we actually have Slap Happy. This only came to the shop 6 times and was last seen over 280 days ago. Honestly, we may as well start calling this a rare emote because I don't see this too often. And to only release 6 times, you know, that isn't a lot at all. 6 chances to buy this in the history of Fortnite, yeah, that is not many. Obviously, this is not one of the rarest emotes in the game, but it could become that if it doesn't come back for another year or so. So who has Slap Happy? Because now you know it's getting rare. And this is one of my favorite emotes in the game. Like, I actually love it. I do have it as well. I'd give it a 10 out of 10. Like, it's just a great emote. But let's move on to the next one, which is Llama Conga. So who remembers the vaulted over a year item shop tab? Well, that's when this emote last came out, which was over 145 days ago now. In total though, this was only in the shop for 4 days, so there wasn't many chances to buy it. And although it came out 145 days ago, I actually don't see it that often, to be honest. As well as that, this emote is traversal and I think it's pretty clean, definitely an underrated one. I'm not sure why this one hasn't returned since that item shop, but because of that, it is starting to get rare now. However, this could return at any time, just like the Zanny emote did, but I guess we'll find out. Let's get on to the next emote, which is Llama Kadabra. This came to the shop 9 times and was last seen over 275 days ago. But the reason I'll say this is more rare than you think is because it's an 800 V-Buck emote, and you know, 800 V-Buck for a dance is quite a lot, which is why probably less people bought it. But this is actually a good emote. I do like this one a lot. I'm not sure why it hasn't returned, but because it hasn't returned, that's why it's getting rare. The next emote we have is Balletic. This only came to the shop 6 times and was last seen over 140 days ago. I actually think a lot of people forgot about this emote, and I definitely don't see this a lot at all. There is a 200 V-Buck emote which is similar to this one, but nope, this is an entirely different emote. This is also traversal. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of this emote, and I don't think a lot of people are, which is probably why it's starting to get rare now, because not many people bought it. The music actually gives me Halloween vibes. I don't know why. Next up, we have Busy. Now, I know this was released 15 times, which is quite a lot, but it was last seen over 260 days ago now. And the reason why I'm putting it in this video is because this is not really a popular emote. No one really speaks about it. There's not much going on. There's no music. The emote is literally just them on a phone. This could have easily been a 200 V-Buck dance. And even though it came out 15 times, I just never really see it. Like, who actually has Busy? Let us know. But I just thought I had to mention this one because, yeah, no one else really does. But let's move on to the next emote, which is our first Icon Series dance, Crazy Boy. This only came to the shop 4 times and was last seen over 325 days ago. So I'll say this emote is pretty much rare now. I mean, almost a year since it's not came out, and only 4 times to purchase it is not a lot at all. I remember when this first came out, hardly anyone around me bought it, but I actually did. Like, I like this emote. I think it's underrated. The dance is pretty smooth. The music is good. Yeah, definitely a good emote in my opinion. I'd literally give it a 9 out of 10. As you guys know, normally TikTok dances come back to the shop all of the time, but I'm not sure why Crazy Boy hasn't. I know it's not a TikTok dance, but maybe they're going to do a collab with it in the future. I'm not too sure. So if you have this emote, now you know how rare it's getting. Next up, we have Hang On. This is actually a 200 V-Buck emote. This did only come to the shop 9 times and was last seen over 280 days ago. I feel like people might have this in their locker, but they don't even realize it. So if you're watching this video, check if you have any of these emotes, as they are getting rare. I mean, Hang On is pretty decent. I feel like it could have came back for the Imposters game mode, but because it didn't, it is starting to get rare. And I mean, it's a pretty decent emote, not really much more to say about it, so let's move on. Next up, we have Well-Rounded. This was in the shop 7 times and was last seen over 325 days ago. To be honest, this is actually a pretty good emote as well. Like, I do like this one. The music's pretty good. The dance is pretty good. One of those emotes, though, that I don't really see people talking about. I don't think it's a very popular one. But for it not to come out in over 325 days just goes to show it is getting rare now. If I had to rate this emote, it would be like a 7 out of 10. Nothing special, but it's still pretty nice. The next emote we have is Distracted. This was only in the shop 3 times and was last seen over 205 days ago. It is only 200 V-Bucks, but surprisingly, I know a lot of people don't actually have this one. And I really like it. I think it's clean, the chopstick trying to get the butterfly. I just think it's a fire emote, especially for 200. I'm not sure why this one hasn't came back, but because it hasn't, that's why it's starting to get rare. If I had to rate it, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10, but let's move on to the next emote, which is actually On the Hook. Now, you might think, didn't this come back recently? But actually, this didn't come out for over 130 days now. Time actually flies, because this used to be one of the rarest emotes in the game, and now it might become really rare again. I've always said it though, I don't think this emote is worth 500 V-Bucks, so in my opinion, I feel like a lot of people didn't buy it. But yeah, I just never see anyone using this again. The next emote we have is Raining Doubloons. This only came to the shop 7 times and was last seen over 170 days ago. Again, I literally remember this one coming back, and I do actually have it. I mean, we've seen Make It Rain and Make It Plantain come out a lot recently, but this one still hasn't returned. And I think this is a great emote. I love the music, I love the coins, I just think it's really clean. So if you bought this when it came back, just know it is starting to get pretty rare again. Next up, we have Out With The Old. This only came to the shop once and then stayed there for 4 days for New Year's. As you guys can see, this emote changes from saying 2020 to 2021. So in my opinion, this should never ever return. I just don't feel like it would make sense. And it was last seen over 245 days ago now. But this might become one of the rarest emotes in the game if it never comes out. But it's pretty nice to have in the locker, as it is a memory for when we went into the new year. So yeah, pretty good emote in my opinion. And finally, we have Team Burger and Team Tomato. These were both last seen over 270 days ago and only came to the shop 3 times. I mean, I know they're only 100 V-Bucks, so a lot of people got them. But yo, 270 days? Low-key getting rare now. If you guys want me to make a video about skins getting rare, make sure you drop a like and let me know in the comments. But that is going to be all. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.